Welcome to this Grandma's Life podcast. I'm your host, theciaellis. Get ready to laugh, learn, and grow with me as we explore growing old in an ever-changing world. One of the good things about growing old is that people judge you less when you sometimes say outrageous things. I'm getting older, and I've had a fascinating life. I also have opinions. You may not agree with these opinions, and I may not care. Even now, I am passionate about many things. I love to learn, I love quotes, and I care about my country. Join me as we explore loving life, even as we age. Today is August 26, 2025, and this is episode 83, Playing the Waiting Game. And I know that the last time that I had spoken to you that I was thinking about not doing these anymore. And I had good reasons for not doing it, but I've also got a good reason for doing this one today. And I probably will get back to doing podcasts on this again. And I think I'm kind of looking forward to it. Maybe I just needed a break to get my head on straight or something. I don't know. I'm not sure that my head is on straight right now. In this episode, I will share with you some of the lessons I've learned in the past few months. But first, let me tell you a lot of stuff that's been going on, what's been going on around in my life. Most of you may already know that I have redone my YouTube channels because I have not been on the Homestead. My grandma's Homestead is now just cooking. I'm hoping that'll change in the future, but right now it's just cooking, and I'm kind of specializing in cooking from the pantry and depression era dishes with a few other things, recipes that I like to mess with along the way. I have started doing some jogging. My foot is finally getting to the point where I can jog. I can do most of the exercises that I do at the gym. You know, when I'm still careful with some things because he did kind of he disconnected my Achilles tendon about 2/3 of the way. And so I don't know, I'm still kind of a chicken with that, but I am jogging. It's slow but you know what? I'm doing what I can. And I'm also have been part of a walking group. We haven't been able to do it since school started because the lady who leads it, she's got to get some kids to school. And as I think that we're going to try to change some time so she can do it with us in the first place. So that's been nice. We did it around Claremore Lake. I've learned to really enjoy walking around Claremore Lake or jogging, and all the people that I pass along in the way, you know, they have the regulars and their dogs, and it's just been pretty nice. When we're walking, we can actually stop and talk to the dogs. But if I'm jogging, I'm doing my own thing, and if I stop, I may not get going again. So that's what I do. I am still watching Tom's Aunt Frankie. I love that woman. She just turned 92 just a couple of weeks ago. And I really enjoy my time with her. And I'm grateful for that opportunity to be with her. I had started for the other YouTube channel for this Grandma's Life. Well, for this one, you know, for what I'm doing, this is Grandma's Life podcast, but I'm also doing with the regular YouTube channel. I've been doing some other things like setting up around here around the house, and my friend Diane and I are doing a little bit of events together and stuff. And just before we had decided we were going to go to Alabaster Caverns, and I'll tell you about that here in a minute. And we had decided, my daughter-in-law had told me that there were some tents on sale because it was getting to the end of the season and stuff. And we found a 2-man tent for $15, brand new. And that was pretty cool. And I had already bought a mattress. I was thinking I was going to be doing all of my traveling by myself. I knew I needed footage for this Grandma's Life, and it couldn't be just whatever I was doing around here in the parsonage. But so that's the reason I've been planning some trips. And so I really thought I was going to be doing it by myself. And I thought, well, you know, I've got a really nice car that the back seat folds down. And if I get the right mattress, I can just travel by myself and roll out it's a camping mattress, and it's a little bit thicker because I'm getting older and I need a little more cushion. But if I go by myself and I didn't want to set up a tent or anything like that, I could stay right there in the back of the car and sleep nicely. Well, as soon as I bought that mattress, I've had at least one other lady, and actually 2 or 3 other ladies, who said, well, we want to go with you. So that's why the Diane and I bought the tent and different things. And My daughter-in-law's mother found out that that we were going to start doing this, and she gave me two pup tents. I can't remember all the stuff she's given me, but I'll try my best. She gave me two pup tents. She gave me a mess kit with a box, all that, like with the plates and bowls and things. And she gave me a Coleman propane cook stove. She gave me some charcoal just in case we get something, if we're in a place where we want to charcoal on the thing, on the grill or something. She gave me a couple of lanterns. Oh my gosh, she just gave me so much stuff, and she even gave me some propane containers that for the Coleman stove. So she gave me some wonderful things, and I'm hoping that she's going to be able to get to go with me on a couple of these trips that we do too. So that's going to be kind of cool. But I was and she also, because she knows I've been missing my tools, and she had a spare toolkit that she had been saving just in case for a gift or something, and it was brand new. And it's pink, and I like it. I have to admit, and it has a hammer, and it has tape measure, just a couple of hand tools and stuff. And I have been so grateful to have it. And it was really cool because even though it was pink, the hammer's got a pretty. It's not a little weenie hammer. It's a pretty decent one, and I like this tool set. I'm so grateful for it. I'm grateful for everything that she gave me, and just people have been amazingly good to me these last few months. And I know I'm going to warn you right now, I'm probably going to tear up several times in this podcast. And so get ready for the ride. So now that Diana and and she bought an air mattress for herself, forgetting that she had a cot, but that's okay. We went on a camping trip to Western Oklahoma. I don't know why I decided to go to Western Oklahoma when it was 100 degrees outside, but we did. Well, part of it was I was thinking, even though we were going to be camping, we were going to be sleeping at night, so it should be okay. And we were going to be seeing Alabaster Caverns in Western Oklahoma, and that's down underground. It was going to be cool and stuff. And I also found out that's when a lot of people do go there, to get in out of the heat. And so we did. We went to Alabaster Cave. We drove out there one day and spent the night. You need to check out the videos on that, because that was an adventure, especially since neither one of us had camped for many years. And we did okay. We did all right, but it was an adventure. But we checked out Alabaster Caverns, and we got to find I think it was called Water Cave or something. Oh, Diana was like so excited to find the water cave. It was so funny. And so we saw that, and it was actually very beautiful there, not just inside the caverns, but we were on top of a ridge basically, and it looked down over into a canyon. I can't remember what the name of the canyon was, but it was beautiful. It was a very beautiful place to stay. And I have to admit, I was actually surprised, because Western Oklahoma is actually not necessarily known for its beauty, in my opinion. It's kind of arid. It's, the wind blows. In fact, the wind was blowing a lot the first night we were there when we were trying to set up the tent. But we got it done. So we spent the night there, and then we went to Alabaster Caverns, the tour of the big cave while we were there. But I didn't want to hang out in 100-degree weather at the campsite all day long, so we went to a nearby place called Boiling Springs State Park, and that was okay. It wasn't too bad. Boiling, it was called Boiling because it looks like it was boiling. The springs were bubbling up out of the ground into a sandy area, so the sand was moving. And that's why it was called Boiling Springs. And we went to Fort Supply Lake and waited around in that lake for a while. There was a town nearby called Freedom, Oklahoma. And actually, that was a pretty cool town. It had a whole street that was almost set up like the Old West. It was really cool. In fact, it even had a little jail where you could tie your horses, and it was neat. And on the way back, we stopped at the Salt Plains, and we started digging for selenite, and we'll have to see that video too. I don't have that one up yet, but whenever I get it up, you need to watch that one, because we ended up with a lot of selenite, little crystals, but most of it, I think Diana found a few. I didn't find any. It was a wonderful family that helped us, and we ended up with a lot of selenite crystals, and I was grateful for that. Diana finally did moved into her new apartment, and she's been working on it for a while. She's had like 35, 40 years worth of accumulation in her house. It was a double wide, so it had plenty of room in it and stuff. But when her husband died, she needed to move out of that place because it needed a lot of more work than what she could put into it. And so long story short for her, she ended up here in the parsonage, and she had this parsonage full of her stuff. And she's had several yard sales and stuff, but she's got a lot of stuff. And now she's trying to cram all that stuff into a little 2-bedroom apartment. But she did finally get all of her stuff out of the parsonage here. And I moved from this other bedroom, because this is a 3-bedroom house that I'm staying in the parsonage. And so I moved out of my little room, and I am now in the master bedroom, which is really nice. It's got a walk-in closet. It's got its own little bathroom, and it's big enough where I've got my bed, my dresser, and this table that I'm using for a desk right now. And that's going to change because I got a desk coming in. I'm going to move the table somewhere else. But basically, I am in this room and in the kitchen. That's all I'm claiming for myself, which is working out, because the building where we have our clothing ministry, we've had it for several years. It's just in bad shape. Every time it rains, there's like little streams that run across it, through it. And, we're always finding frogs and crickets and everything like that in the clothes. And of course, we hang things up and make sure they're good and clean and not stained and stuff like that. But one way or another, the battle with the water going through there was getting kind of bad. So that's what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, is moving this entire clothing ministry into the parsonage. So I now have my bedroom and the kitchen and the clothing ministry. And you know what? Actually, it's kind of nice. I mean, we haven't opened up for business yet, but I have been able to spend more time, and it's needed it. Oh, last Wednesday night, the youth, they asked the youth to help us move as much as they could over here to the parsonage from the clothing ministry. And it's just a few feet away, the old building was. And those kids kicked butt. They are amazing. And there was not much left that they needed to go. And we didn't have to bring some things over because we didn't have any place to put what needed to come over yet. So that has been, we would still be working way, way, way too hard. The only thing is, because it was so chaotic, not all the clothes got on the rack that they came from. That's fine. That's giving me an opportunity, because we're about to go into the fall. We have a color coded system. I do blue for winter. That we put these little rubber bands, and so blue stands for winter, green is for spring, and right now we're doing red for summer. Well, it's going into fall, so we're going to do yellow. And so but I'm still pulling spring stuff, all the green, and to make room for the red that we're putting in. And we've got a mess of clothes we've not even sorted yet. So because I'm in the same building with it, I'm able to pull what needs to be pulled and hang up what needs to be hung up and put things on the proper rack. It's not as big a shopping area for our customers as it was in the other building. So we're probably going to have to consolidate a few things, get rid of a rack or two to make room. But I think in the long run, it's just going to work out really nicely. And I'm really glad for that. My only thing, and I was so heartbroken when I was moving from my other bedroom into this bedroom, the lamp that Mom and Dad bought about the same time I was born, I was trying to move the whole table that the lamp was on. A leg broke off the lamp, and the lamp broke. It fell onto the floor and broke. So the antique lamp that I'm 63 now. I just turned 63 3 weeks ago. And the lamp that's 63 years old is broken. And some people suggested that maybe I would glue it back together. It wouldn't have been the same. It just wouldn't have been the same. I just sucked it up. One more loss that I've been having to go through lately, and I just threw it in the dumpster. It's kind of been interesting. We have now at our church too, we have what we do is called Secret Sisters. And I'll explain a little bit more why this was an issue, but my secret sisters give me some really cool gifts for just before my birthday. My secret sister left on the front porch a really, really pretty little bouquet of flowers with a hand decorated napkin, which I thought was just so wonderful. And I got that for because to state that she was praying for me. That's what we do with the Secret Sisters. It's not so much about the gifts; it is about letting them know that you're praying for them and stuff too. And then on my birthday, she left a everything bunt cake. It's a little bunt cake. Man, that was good, and that was left on my front porch. But the first time, like with the flowers, I'll have to tell you later why. But I was a little bit spooked to find something on the front porch. In an effort to find other things to do footage for, and I haven't gotten this up yet, Diana and I went on to, and I've seen when you're going from Pryor north, there is a cross that you can see off to the east side of, I think it's 69. I get 69 and 169 mixed up. So I'm pretty sure it's 69. And Diana told me that it's actually a very nice kind of a park where you can walk around and see the cross that you could see from the highway, but there's other crosses there too. Is this the person who owns this land took several acres and made it into a walkabout type thing where you could see. There's one place where there's the 3 crosses where Jesus was crucified, and there's actually the woman at the well area that he did up. There's also the tomb. That he actually did something in the side of a hill and made it into the tomb. And I have to admit, it's kind of funny because I moved back to Oklahoma in 1994 and I never heard of, and it was less than 20 miles from here. And we went to that, and it was the most peaceful, moving place that I had been to in a long time. And I have to admit, I was kind of disappointed that others hadn't told me about this. And I think that on days that I am really struggling or something, it might not be a bad place for me to just go and sit and contemplate at that place. It was nice, and I'm looking forward to getting that video out too. I got to farm sit for a friend. She had to go, I can't remember, to Michigan or someplace like that. So for 5 days, I got to go feed a calf. I got to feed the dogs and feed all the chickens and a goose and peafowl. I can't remember what else. There was a lot there. And I loved that because I've been missing my animals. And it was nice to do that. I'll have another story to share with you on that one a little bit later on too. But it was nice to get to farm sit, and I was really grateful for that opportunity. The only thing is, the day that I had my last day there, when my friend was coming home, I fed the animals that morning, but then a thunderstorm rolled through, and one of the little dogs ran away. And I didn't know he'd run away. I mean, he hadn't run away when I was there that morning because the storm hadn't rolled through until after I had left. And she spent 13 days looking for that little dog and finally found Buddy and got him home. He was so glad to be home and stuff. And I just felt so bad because he disappeared the day that my last day that I was going to be doing that. So, but yeah, Buddy's home now and everybody's happy, and I'm glad. I have an opportunity for a job here in Foyle, and I think I want the job, honestly, even it might be a pain in the butt. But I was told that if I wanted the job, I should go to the town hall meeting. And that was an interesting town hall meeting. I mean, they followed all the rules and stuff for the people that are up on the board, whatever the protocol is when you have meetings and stuff. But when it was time to address the people who had shown up, which I could kind of understand, for some reason, some people just go to town hall meetings just wound up. And I couldn't even really figure out why some of them were wound up, but they were. And it was funny because when he opened it up, he basically had said something along the line of no spitting, no throwing, no cussing. And I thought that was such a fascinating thing. And then they were, I guess this town pays an extra amount of money to the Rogers County Sheriff's deputies so that we can get we used to have a police force. I'm glad they're gone. They were not good people. But because we don't have an actual police force, we don't need one. We're a little bitty town. And but the sheriff's deputies will roll through. Apparently, we're paying a little bit extra for the sheriff's deputies to give us a little extra drive-throughs and not policing, but just making sure everything's okay. But some of the people were upset that we were paying that money, thinking that Rogers County was double dipping on us, that we were paying our taxes and paying the extra. And there was one man that was part of the board, and somebody goes, well, when it was time to arrest him, I didn't see any sheriff's deputies. And the guy that was on the board, he's going, it's because I turned myself in. I have no idea what what he turned himself in for, but I thought, so for some reason I still want this job, but because I think I can do a good job for them. And I think I could kind of straighten out some of the rough edges that are happening with this, but we'll find out. I've got my interview is Thursday and we'll see how that goes. We got Kinsey to college. My girl is in college. Oh yeah, see, I told you I was going to cry. And it was kind of interesting because the people over here at Foyle School, they knew that Kinsey needed a place to be. They knew that she needed to get out of town. She basically has been homeless in a lot of ways since February. I mean, my son and daughter-in-law had provided a place for her to stay, but she stayed with their best friend for a lot of times, and she was trying to stay with her grandpa sometimes too. But it was, basically she was, bouncing around from place to place. So she needed some place to stay for a while. And the Foyle School had gotten her a scholarship up at Coffeyville Community College, and it was for powerlifting though, which is kind of interesting. I mean, they gave her what they had, and but Kinsey is 5'2" and 108 pounds, and I know that little people, and she actually can lift some pretty serious weights, but she didn't want to do that. So the first day that we went up there, one of her buddies from the school, he's also got a scholarship, and he ended up somehow on the cheerleading team. He had been up there for a week, and so when we went up there, he showed us around and helped us find where all the places you do to sign up and get things, actually registered for this and this taken care of, that taken care of, and stuff like that. So he was very, very helpful. But somehow he got recruited to be on the cheerleading team, and he talked Kinsey into going to talking to the coach. Well, Kinsey's never done any cheerleading, but they said, that's okay. We've got a couple of kids on there. And so they actually was able to change her scholarship from powerlifting to cheerleading, and she seems to be real happy with it. But her stats were so good in softball. I wish that she could have gotten a scholarship somewhere for softball. I mean, she was number 3 in the state for stealing bases, and she was in the top of the state for 2 or 3 things, which is really good especially for such a little school that we had. So I told her, I said, you should try to walk on the softball team. And she may, I don't know what she's going to do. She, first she's going, well, they've already got their team. I said, yeah, I know they've already got their team. But if you walk on and you kick butt like you did while you were in high school, they'll take you. So, but she's on her own. She's going to do what she wants to do. I'm very, very proud of her. I'm very, very proud of her, and grateful that she's got a good place to be. And and she's already gotten a job, which is good because she has car payment and different things. And so now she's trying to go to school full time, be a cheerleader, and work as much as possible so she can pay for her car payment and all the other stuff, the extra stuff that she wants to do too. So she's busy. I'm sure she's real busy, but I'm very proud of her anyway. I got the Women of Grace meetings that we do. I think we're the 3rd Monday of the month. The ladies of our church get together, but we take the summer off because the ladies are busy. The men go all summer long anyway. Their meetings, but we take the summer off because we got a lot going on. And just last week or the week before, I can't remember which it was the first Women of Grace for this new season, and they asked me to cook for all of them, because usually they'll say, okay, this is our theme for the meal for the night. I'll make this and you can make this and you can make this. But they basically left all of that part up to me and I loved it. I got to do basically, and the other ladies brought sides or whatever, because, and the desserts, they always have to do the desserts and everything. So they did that. But I really enjoyed cooking and doing that for them. And I was glad for that. my 45th class reunion is coming up in a couple of months, and they had a planning meeting, and they said that even if you're not part of the planning meeting, you can show up. And so I did. I showed up at the restaurant and got to reconnect with several kids. I got to reconnect with several people that I had graduated from, which is it was kind of interesting because even though I did graduate from Claremore, I only went there my senior year. But like I said earlier, I have been back since 1994. And so I've known a few of them, but not too many of them. But it was really cool to reconnect. And I'm trying to decide. Well, it makes a difference in how the money goes and stuff. I need to get a brake job on my car. I need to do 2 or 3 things, and was courting, jobs and stuff. But I wanted to go to Tennessee for the Self-Reliance Festival, and I had volunteered to work there. But now I'm trying to decide if I can even go because just today I had a check engine light come on, so my car needs some attention. And I don't have the money to put into it yet. So I may not be going to Tennessee like I want to. And I'm kind of bummed about that because there's some really neat people I was wanting to reconnect with there too. But I had already paid for my ticket to go to the class reunion. And so I may be doing that. We'll see. But I got to go to the meeting. And the last thing for what's happening around here. And I know there's been a lot going on. So I know it's been happening a lot. I went to court yesterday, and I will talk to you some more about that. And I won't lie, it was disappointing, and I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out. But I did go to court, and we've been waiting for months and months and months to get this court date for us to get nothing accomplished. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. What I'm listening to. I don't know if you've ever heard of The Fourth Turning. It is a book by William Strauss and Neil Howe. And I understand the concept of the fourth turning. Basically it was saying good times makes good men. Bad times makes good men. Good men makes weak. I'll get it right here in a minute. Bad times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times, and so it's just a cycle. Well, these two have written a book, and it is a long book. And at first I went, I don't know. At first I wasn't interested in it, but as I've gotten into it, I may listen to it again. I almost didn't want to listen to the whole thing the first time, and I'm still on the first time, but I'm understanding the pattern and learning some more as I go. So I probably will listen to a second time just so I can catch so much that I missed on this first time. And I'm also listening to my second round with Forever Odd by Dean Koontz. What I'm actually reading is I am reading The Middle Ages by Morris Bishop, and I'm also reading The Silent Corner by Dean Koontz. And obviously I've told you before, I really love Dean Koontz stuff. Okay, my quote of the week is, I say of the week, I think it's been well over a month since I've done this. I am working hard to figure out how to get a schedule here, but I'll figure it out. But my quote of this time is called, God's promises are like the stars. The darker the night, the brighter they shine. And this is by David Nicholas. And I could not find anything on David Nicholas. But I did like the quote because it is, basically, I'm dealing with stuff that reminds me that things are going to be okay. But God's promises are like the stars. The darker the night, the brighter they shine. All right. Main subject. Playing the waiting game. Oh my gosh, guys, this has been a serious nightmare. Most of you who know me at all know that Tom my husband has dealt with depression. 90% of the time he is a lump. He was going to work. He would go to work, and he's had that job for 40 years. and but he would come home and do nothing. So I mean, my grandma's homestead YouTube channel was based on me trying to make a good place for us to live. Trying to remodel the $2,500 mobile home, trying to put food in the freezer, trying to make a good farm and stuff. And then, and his cycles are so slow. It took me a long time to figure it out. We've been together 25 years now. And but when you're in a depressed state for 6 or 7 years, and then all of a sudden you go into what he calls the feel good state, which means he's bipolar. He refused to go and get medication for it, even though he has a sister on it. He's had a dad that had it real bad. And, but apparently bipolar runs in the family. Well, this most recent time he went into the manic stage has been a real nightmare. I think things started getting bad in November. December, they were real bad. And then all of a sudden in February, early February, mid-February, he decided that he wanted a divorce. And he really believes that I've stolen like $60,000 from him. He really believes that I am the enemy. And he put a protective order out on me and kicked me off the farm. I have not been on my farm since February 13 this year. And that was my farm. That may have been land that he inherited from his family, but that was my farm because I was there day in and day out taking care of that place. In the process of doing that now, he's very, very, very mentally ill. He needs to get help desperately. He's doing stuff that he should not be doing at all. But because he filed for divorce and I have a protective order, we're having to wait for court dates. And then, okay, well, that didn't work. So we got to make another court date. And there's been 2 or 3 times we were supposed to have shown up, but because he's not doing what he's supposed to do, we couldn't even go to get the information we needed, because he basically he told me early on, he goes, even though we've been together this long, he told me, I will not be getting half his retirement. I will not be getting half of his land. I will not be getting half of anything. So since February, he has been actively working to liquidate everything. And in the process, he has actually lost his job of 40 years. And we can't prove it right now because he won't do the discovery. And that's what's part of the problem is too. But he's been spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Since he's kicked me off the farm, he's bought a Ford pickup. He has bought a Jeep. He's bought 2 motorcycles. He's bought a track hoe, and he's put an addition on the barn. And he goes to auctions and buys and buys and buys and buys. And so as much money as he's spending, we're pretty sure that he has cashed in his retirement and is spending it all to make sure that I get nothing. And that is part of the illness. It's part of the reason that I became the enemy, because he was wanting to spend money for this, that, and the other thing. I'm going, it's not in the budget. We don't have the money. And his brain took it to mean that I'd been stealing it from him. We didn't have any money. And I always kept him up to date on how the finances were and stuff, because the last time he was in his manic stage, we almost lost the farm and I had to take over the bills. And so I have been in charge of the finances for the last 7 years or whatever it is. So yeah, he's not done it. He's doing a lot of stuff. And I think he's trying to die. He's gone to drinking. And it's funny, it's interesting, as much stuff as he has bought, he went 11 days without electricity, guys. All that meat I put in the freezer, all the work I've put into there, he has totally destroyed it. He crowbarred off the back door. And during our rainy spell that we had, when inches and inches and inches of rain, was open to the outside with nothing but a flag as a back door. And Kinsey was going in and out of there every once in a while. She sent me pictures. There was a picture where the freezer side of the refrigerator freezer had just blood running down the front door, where he's just let things go because he didn't have electricity for 11 days. His water's been shut off twice. His electricity's been shut off 3 times. He has left the water. One time he left the water. And the reason I know a bunch of this too is because I was in charge of the finances. I still get the emails saying, hey, we detected a leak, and you're losing, I think it was 360 gallons an hour of water. And he left the water running for 5 days, 360 gallons an hour running down the road. And he did. And I know he had to have been there for part of it. Maybe, or either that or he just left the animals to fend for themselves. I don't know. It's been a nightmare. So finally, we filed for contempt of court because he never did do discovery and stuff. And yesterday was a court date. So why am I just telling you this now? Because I've been real patient. I've done my part. I did my discovery because I was, and he's been through 2 lawyers now, but he's had 2 lawyers fire him or, withdraw from the case. So as far as we knew, if he was going to show up yesterday, he was not going to have any representation. So we were not surprised when he didn't show up to court yesterday, because he was supposed to be coming there to, I think it was calling, compel him to determine where he was getting all of his money. And he just didn't show. And so they put a bench warrant out for his arrest yesterday. But one of the things early on, whenever I was doing my part is saying, don't put it, and basically it was this instruction was directed toward families who have children. They didn't want a spouse putting pictures of their children on social media and talking about how terrible their spouse was and stuff like that. So I've been trying to be good through this whole thing. I still do things. So you obviously knew that I was not where I was supposed to be. You obviously knew that I was no longer on the farm, and I was trying to be good about it. But yesterday I kind of got irritated about it because, it's been 7 months and we're getting nowhere. He's gone through the money. I understand he's even trying to deed. Well, I don't know what he's doing. I can't prove any of that anyway. It doesn't make any difference. I just know that he's gone through a mountain of money and he's not doing what he's supposed to do to let us know where he's getting the money from. But I do know that he made it really clear that I was not going to get half of anything. So I had been living in the parsonage with the beautiful people who have been taking care of me all this time. And I try real hard to pull my weight. Don't get me wrong. I've been looking for a job. I've been doing everything I can to be the best person I can be for everybody that's around me. But I want my farm back. And I don't know if I'm going to get it back or not. And if I do, it's wrecked. My farm is destroyed. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. So he's getting away with it a lot right now. He didn't show up, and so they put a bench warrant out for his arrest. And I said, so now what? Can we tell me when he's actually gotten arrested so I can go take care of animals? No, I still can't go to the farm because I still have the protective order after all this time, even though I really didn't do anything to require having a protective order put against me. I still can't go to my farm. I still can't see my animals. And even if he's in jail, I still can't go make sure that my animals are okay. And that irritates me. And then I found out yesterday too, though, that yes, he didn't show up. They're going to do a bench warrant, but that was just a motion to compel. Now they're actually going to, it was a different thing. We got to set up a whole nother court date to force him to come to show where he's doing this money. And I'm thinking, and we've been going through them. I mean, I've got to start paying more money to my lawyer now for me not to be able to go to my farm and he's doing a good job. Don't get me wrong, but the court dates are so far away and everything that's going on is just crazy. And now I can't go back to my farm. I can't take care of my animals. The man is getting away with all this crap and I have to wait for another court date. Ugh. So one thing that did happen that just almost broke me, when I was farm sitting, my friend that I was farm sitting for, she lives north of my old property, my farm. And so I told my lawyer, I said, on these dates, my vehicle will be seen going past our property morning and night. So if anything happens and if somebody, If he says, "Hey, my car's over there," and sure enough, the first night, that first evening when I was coming to get done doing the evening chores, I had just passed the gate of our property, and Tom was coming down the hill, and I thought, so I don't. He either didn't recognize me or whatever. I really expected a sheriff's deputy to come and knocking on the door of him so he could accuse me of stealing something else. And I haven't stolen anything. I didn't even been on the property. And then the next night, I was coming home and my dog Beethoven was down playing by the road. And I stopped to visit with my dog. And I missed my dog so bad. And apparently he missed me so bad. He hates the car. He won't get in the car. He was trying to crawl into the car with me. And I was down on the corner, the way south end of the property. So I wasn't anywhere near the gate or anything. But I'm down there, and Beethoven and I are loving on each other. And I'm boo-hooing. I am boo-hooing hard. And he was so happy to see me. And like I said, he was trying to crawl into the car with me. And I finally had to go. And he chased me up the road. And I won't lie, that was rough. And that about broke me for a little while. But I know it's going to be okay. One way or another, things are going to be okay. Tom may be getting by with a whole bunch right now. He may be hurting me. He's hurt Kenzie so bad. He's hurt Kenzie. We worked so hard to provide a good home for her because she came from a bad situation. And 3 months before she was supposed to graduate high school, he pulls this mess and kicks. He didn't kick Kenzie out, but he was so psychologically damaged and he was harassing her daily at work. For one thing, he wanted the keys to the car, her old car, so that he could sell it. And then he was wanting the code to my old phone so he could sell it. And he's not supposed to do that. He's done a lot of things that's in contempt of court. But so he hurt my girl. And that's messed up too. So I know it's going to work out in the long run. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. We'll find out. But like I said, I've been trying to be good about this whole thing, but I think I got irritated enough yesterday that I've been waiting all this time, hoping to get some closure yesterday, and I didn't get any closure. And so I'm kind of irritated, and I think I finally decided I'm just going to speak up about it. So now you know what's going on with me. Do you have any marriage horror stories? I hope not. But if you do, if you have anything that you want to say, some of your experiences or anything that you want to share with me, or condolences, whatever you want to do, you can send me an email at theciaellis@gmail.com, theciaellis@gmail.com. And if I know, I always say this, I think too, the Bitcoin and all that stuff it's been pretty volatile lately, but still, one way or another, it's been a good investment for me because that's the only thing I could ever do. I mean, help pay for my lawyer fees. So, but we had the Fold card is a prepaid debit card, and every time you use it, that you get Satoshis, which are like mini pieces of Bitcoin and stuff. And they've also had things where if you buy specific things through specific companies, you get a higher percentage of Satoshis that are given to you. But it is a really cool thing. And if you want to start investing in Bitcoin in a safe way that doesn't cost you any more money, because you're going to be buying this stuff anyway. Like that's what I was using it for, is for groceries and fuel and things like that between paydays. And so it was money I was going to be spending anyway, but I used my prepaid debit card, the Fold card, to pay for it. So I would encourage you to try to do something along that line. If you do, go to the link below for my Fold card and sign up. That doesn't cost you anything more, but I do get a little bit of credit for doing that, for you doing that. So I would encourage you to do that. All right. Start telling other people about this podcast. I will get back to doing it on a regular basis because I think I've decided that it's okay for me to do this. And so I'd ask for a 5-star review, and I would appreciate that too. I can be found Well, I can be found at all my regular places, like my Grandma's Homestead Farm under my YouTube channels, and I've got a Facebook page for Grandma's Homestead but I've also got, now I'm doing Patreon now, so look me up on Patreon for Grandma's Homestead and This Grandma's Life. And I was messing up for a while. I'm still learning. Being old and learning is kind of interesting. And so I'm trying to make, I have, you can go to my Patreon page and you can see some of the stuff for that you don't have to pay for it all like that. And then I have another one that's like the level is like $5 a month. But I messed up on some of that. I've got to do some rearranging, but still check me out because I'm doing the thing called growth. I'm doing the when I do the scripture of the day and the quote of the day, and also sometimes with the devotional and stuff, I don't just tell you what the quote or the scripture is. I also tell you why I chose them and why they're, give you a little bit of a background on how I had perceived these particular things, and just to give you a little snippet of not just the stuff itself, but how I have been applying it to my life. And that's the growth section on Patreon. And you can go there and get all the recipes for all the stuff that I'm putting out too. All right, guys, it's been a mess. We'll be fine. But I want to encourage you to live until you die. God bless, guys. I'll see you next time.